Hello, I am an interpreter. Spent, I don't know.
Yes.
I have some equipment here. Yeah, I have all of that. Yeah, we take turns. We take
I
turns.
can barely hear you.
Okay, so I have the equipment. I need to give the equipment to whoever needs it. Okay, todo. Traje todo.
¿Eso que ustedes están haciendo en la iglesia?
Sí. Esos son varios.
Like to make an announcement before we actually start the meeting. There is inclement weather, severe weather that's being projected, that's coming our way. And as a result, I will be making a motion to the commission to adjourn this meeting after items 1 and 2. So the first 2 items on the mayor's agenda will proceed, and then I'll be making a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Today is October 30th, 2024. This is a regular session of your Unified Government Board of Commissioners. It will be abbreviated. It did include the planning and zoning portion. Before I call the meeting to order, I want to announce that some commissioners, staff, and the public are attending remotely via Zoom, by phone, or on site. All participants joining by phone should please mute your phones at this time when not speaking to avoid any background noise. During the meeting, please make sure that you announce yourself by name and title every time you speak, so the public that is observing knows exactly who is speaking. This is critical given the number of remote participants and is current guidance from the Kansas Attorney General's office. If public comments are allowed on an agenda item, comments should be limited to the topic of discussion. Per the Commission Rules of Procedures, comments should not include any rude or derogatory comments, and the rules of decorum will fully be enforced in this body, as well as noting that disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. I will now call this meeting to order. Clerk, roll call.
Roll call. Burrows.
Here.
Townsend. Here. Burns.
Here.
Ramirez.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
Stites.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Bynum. Here. Garner.
Here. Thank you, Clerk. I'll ask everyone to please stand and ask Pastor Stevie Wakes. He's going to give our invocation, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear God, how grateful we are that you've allowed us to come together for this meeting tonight. Thank you for allowing us to participate in this particular meeting of the Unified Government. And God, in as much as we call ourselves the Unified Government, we ask that you would help us to be unified in our efforts to advance, Lord, the benefits necessary for this community to be as best as it can be for the glory of you, God. Thank you, Father, for all who shall participate in tonight's meeting. And we pray, oh God, that you would be with all of our constituents, our leadership. Bless our fellowship tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor Wakes. That takes us to item number 1 on the mayor's agenda. We have 5 other items under the mayor's agenda. At least we did, but we're only going to be doing 2 tonight. The first 2. I'm going to ask my chief of staff, Irene Caudillo, to come forward and she will make the announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your pronouncing my name. Thank you. Before we get started, and I apologize, we do have interpreters. I didn't know if the interpreting was for the entire meeting or for just that one item, but we have 2 interpreters with devices. So if we have people in the audience that need interpretation, please see the 2 gentlemen at the end. Oh, look there. Ellis? No más allá. All right. Mayor, commissioners, and county administrator, it is always a pleasure that we extend the mayor's initiative of the Dot Proud Award and appreciate the nominees from the commissioners. We have 1 mayor recognition tonight. We have 2 that we were going to honor, but 1 is not here. So we're going to start with Barbara Kill. Barb is a long life Dot, and she graduated Argentine High School and KCKCC. As a stay-at-home mom, she was active in our community through PTA, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and softball with her children. She continued her service and activism as a grandmother and is a proud great-grandmother of 18. And she continues to attend many of their events. After taking care of her parents in her home for the last 10 years of their life, she once again became active in the community. Just some of the organizations she served with and partnered with include Community Emergency Response Team, the Neighborhood Crime Prevention Patrol. As board of directors, treasurers, she helped organize and continues today to organize Night Out Against Crime. Neighborhood watch groups. She's been the president for 15 years, where she worked on the Welcome Back to Turner sign, spring dances, Crossline Retirement Center as a board of director, Christmas parties for 15 years, Christmas in October, and Shepherd Center of KCK. Not to mention Turner Community Connection, Inc. as director for 14 years. On behalf of Mayor Garner, we honor Barb Kill with a Dot Proud recognition. Before we ask you to come down, Mayor, if you'd like to say a few words, I'll get Barb up here ready.
Barb, you can come forward. Barb has been for as long as I can remember, has been a champion of all things positive in Wyandotte County. She has been in the trenches, as you've heard, volunteering, advocating for good things in her neighborhood and throughout Wyandotte County. She's come to countless meetings. I can't keep up. She's done so much to try and improve the quality of life of everybody that loves and calls Wyandotte County home. And she'll be retiring. And a lot of her work was done in the Turner area, which I believe is Commissioner Lopez's district, as well as Commissioner Tom Burrows. And so we're just proud of the work you've done and all the years that you put in trying to make life better for people in Kansas City, Kansas. And so thank you so much. And we are Dot proud of you. Thank you.
I just have a couple things to say. First of all, I want to thank you for the Dot Proud recognition. And thank you for the opportunity to serve my community in many different ways throughout the years. I have truly enjoyed it. I have met so many good and caring people, so many, and I have so many wonderful memories. After 85 years, it is time for me to step down and start moving at a slower pace. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks. The next one is Commissioner Lopez, but yeah, well, but let me read. So we're gonna, yes, thank you. Thank you. You caught my one. Mike Bergen's motto is, if we do not hand to the hearts of our children, then who will mend the hearts of us when we are old? Mike Bergen established Hands to Heart Toys for Disadvantaged Children in 1994. It's a nonprofit, a volunteer organization that delivers toys to low-income families throughout Kansas and other states. To collect toys for Hands to Heart, Michael also founded the Mike Bergen's Night Train Run in 1997, and he hosts 2 runs every year. So instead of charging a registration fee, Mike asks that you bring as many toys as your hog will haul. Monetary donations are also used to purchase more toys, and toys are then distributed to children in need throughout really the year. The Christmas holiday season, of course, is always their busiest time of the year. In the first Christmas season, Mike hand-delivered toys to about 50 children. And as the past year, Mike and his group of volunteers were able to reach and hand-deliver toys to over 12,000 children just during the holiday season. Michael delivers toys to countless Head Start programs, elementary schools, in low-income neighborhoods, women's shelters, foster homes. He's also helped organizations such as Catholic Charities, the Red Cross, happy to say El Centro's Academy for Children. So on behalf of Commissioner Lopez, and to continue the Mayor's Dot Proud Recognition Initiative, please congratulate Mike Bergen and his Hands to Heart organization. Would you like to show him one? The commissioner's about to say something, and then we'll allow you to say something.
I got it all written down.
He could've just used his-
So,
It says dearly beloved.
yeah, dearly beloved.
What is going on?
Okay, dear Mike Bergen, on behalf of the community, we are thrilled to present you with the Dot Proud Award in recognition of your remarkable contributions to the children of Wyandotte County. Our most vulnerable citizens. Through your unwavering dedication and selfless service, you have created a countless cherished memories for our youth. Your commitment, particularly in providing Christmas gifts to children who might not otherwise experience the joy of the season, has touched many lives deeply. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for your compassion and generosity. It is with immense pride and gratitude that we honor you today. Mike Bergen, we are forever in your debt with the Dot Proud Award. With your warmth and gratitude, Mr. Lopez. Thank you.
I appreciate that very much. I'm very honored to be here. Very honored to get the call and appreciate each and everybody who put this together, not just for myself, but anybody else. This nice lady here and everything that she's accomplished. And it all basically starts out with everything that I've been able to do for 30 years. All starts out with family, of course, and your friends and your volunteers, your sponsors, and all the riders. And of course, all the little kids. But I appreciate everything, appreciate the words, appreciate the honor of it. And I'm a very blessed man to be able to do it as long as I've been doing it. So I owe a lot of that too from an employment that I've been at for 34 years. Strident Energy too for supporting me for what I do. But no matter what I do, and I appreciate all of the words from everybody so many times, and it means a lot, but there's nothing that I could do if I didn't have everybody else with me. So I appreciate you. And again, thank each and every one of you. And we'll continue this journey and take it as far as we can. And anybody who knows people that need things, that need help, you don't have to be all the way down on the ground to get some help. It's just there. So if you need it, you know where we're at. So thank you again. Appreciate you.
On the count of three, ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Our last honoree is Aaron Stryka. Aaron is from Norman, Oklahoma, and moved to Kansas City in 2008 after graduating from Grinnell College. Aaron started as an AmeriCorps member with Rosedale Development Association in 2011 and was also the program director for the Rosedale Healthy Kids Program from 2012 to 2016, overseeing the growth of the program from a grassroots community coalition to a regionally recognized and duplicated model for creating a sustainable community change. In August of 2016, Erin became the RDA's executive director. Under her leadership as executive director, RDA has worked with many partners to implement the Rosedale Master Plan, including making major improvements to Fisher Park, maintaining and expanding Rose Arcs trail system, advocating for complete streets on 47th Avenue and Rainbow Boulevard, advocating for transit, bike, and pedestrian improvements, and working with seniors and residents with disabilities to access home repair services and tax credits. In recent years, she's also graduated from Healthy Communities Leadership Academy, Wyandotte Leadership 2000, Nonprofit Connect Executive Director Institute, and she and her husband Joseph have 4 children and are proud Dots and proud, I'm gonna get this wrong, Rosedalians. On behalf of Commissioner Ramirez, and again, to continue the Mayor's Dot Proud Recognition Initiative, please congratulate Aaron Stryka with this Dot recognition.
Thank you, Irene, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for this program that you have. What can I say and not say about Erin? Since day one, since I've been in office, I came in office in 2020, and since day one, she's been a partner with me in helping rebuild Rosedale, helping rebuild the relationship between District 3's office and Rosedale, and trying to break down the divide that was between Argentina and Rosedale for some years. And your unwavering support and dedication to Rosedale is evident in everything that you do and say. You're one of the most people I can go to who has a thumb on the neighborhood. You know exactly the thoughts and feelings of what the neighborhood needs and wants. And I don't think I could have done the job that I've done so far without you as a partner and as I can say a friend as we've gone through this. And so just thank you for the hard work, your love, your dedication. And, we're both proud Rosedalians, and you've done so much for our community. So I thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Ramirez and Commissioners and Mayor. This means an awful lot to me. It's a huge privilege to get to go to work every day in the community where you live and that you love, and to work alongside so many hardworking, passionate, and very dedicated people who come down to commission in the middle of a tornado watch. I have been very lucky to work with you, and I'm really grateful to all of you and grateful to you all for your leadership. So, thank you.
Thank you. Again, for the rest of the commissioners, we'd be happy to accept your nominations. I do a lot of the legwork, so I'd be happy to help you. And again, it is about those unsung heroes. It's about learning more about who's in our community doing some great work. Mayor, thank you. And I'm done.
Thank you so much, Irene. Appreciate the presentation, and congratulations again to the honorees tonight. Let's give them one last round of applause, please. And just for clarity, just so you know, a lot of time and attention went into who gets these awards. And so just moving forward, just know that individuals that get these Proud recognitions are individuals that really have done something not unique, but something profound that has really made a positive impact on Wyandotte County and more importantly on people's lives. So thank you all for everything you've done and continue to do for Wyandotte County. Thank you so much. That takes us to our second item under the mayor's agenda. It's adoption of a proposed resolution urging the Kansas Secretary of State to work with Wyandotte County Election Commissioner to provide Spanish language materials available to voters starting with elections in 2025. This initiative was prompted by the mayor's office after receiving multiple complaints and inquiries on this subject. At this time, I'll open up the meeting and allow, I believe we'll open it up and have our speaker. I'm sorry, if you would just announce your name. I don't want to take that away from you, and who you are and who you're with.
Well, thank you. Good evening. My name is Micah Kubik, and I serve as the Executive Director of the ACLU of Kansas, a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization representing 35,000 people across the state. And I first want to express my thanks to Mayor Gardner for bringing this resolution and moving this important conversation along. And I also want to thank all of you on the commission for allowing us to be here on this dark and stormy night. to ask you to support this resolution, one which is very simple and limited in its scope. What this resolution does is simply express this body's hope that the responsible parties, the Secretary of State and the Wyandotte County Election Commissioner, will make voting information available in Spanish for eligible citizens who need and want it. I want to be very clear that the resolution does not force those parties to act. It does not impose new mandates. It does not carry any budgetary implications. It does not subject the county to a new regulatory framework. It does not compel anyone to do anything. So if it doesn't do those things, why exactly are we here tonight? The answer to that is because this resolution is a way for this body to affirm its values, for you to affirm your belief in voting rights. It's a way for you to affirm your belief that democracy is stronger when more eligible people participate, that every eligible voter is a part of this community. It is a way for you, the leaders of this community, to share with those who are responsible for elections that you dearly hope that they will prioritize inclusion. American democracy is built on the principle that every eligible citizen has the right to participate. But the ability of citizens to participate is compromised when, due to lack of English language proficiency, they cannot fully understand voting instructions or the ballot itself. And there are thousands of eligible citizens in Wyandotte County who would be more likely to register, turn out, and be more deeply engaged in the full fabric of civic life if only they could access voting information in the language in which they are proficient. But right now, a lack of language access means that they cannot and do not. And that is one reason why voter turnout in Wyandotte County is consistently lower than many other parts of the state, 12 percentage points lower than the statewide total. Now, this need for language access is not speculative, it is not theoretical, it is real. Because as you well know, this is one of the most diverse places on God's green earth. In Wyandotte County, 35% of residents are members of a language minority. Census data shows that there are at least 4,000 Wyandotte County residents who are citizens of voting age, eligible to vote, but have limited English proficiency. 70% of that group of eligible citizens are Spanish speaking. The next largest language group, Burmese, make up 7% of the total. And there are another 15,000 eligible citizens, voters, who are minimally proficient in English, but do not have it as their primary language. And so who could benefit from having the often complicated ballot instructions and materials available in their primary language. And then there are another 41,000 residents whose primary language is not English and who are not yet eligible to vote, mostly because of age, but who will someday be on the path to civic engagement. I would also note that during a week when the news is full of renewed attention about attacks on the human dignity of Puerto Ricans, every last one of them an American citizen, it bears noting that there are at least 1,000 Wyandotte County citizens who are Puerto Rican, a clear majority of whom are native Spanish speakers and who would benefit from language access. All of this means that the need for language access in voting is common sense, an obvious proposition. To those who don't know that this is not happening, they are shocked to learn it. After all, people assume that the election office would follow the leadership that you all have set. They would assume that the election office would follow the example of, for example, the Unified Government's website, which makes 13 languages available. But no, there is no remotely comparable level of language access at the election office. In fact, it was only in November of 2023 that for the very first time, a few limited items were made available in Spanish, and that was only after months of pleading. For the last 18 months, residents have been asking the election commissioner to expand language access, beginning, but hopefully not ending, with Spanish. The community has asked for any one or combination of things like Spanish language materials about local level elections, not just state ones, voter registration materials, more bilingual election workers, or even just guidance about the federally guaranteed right to receive language assistance at the polls. We also believe in protecting voting rights across the board, so we asked the election commissioner for progress on things like more early voting and reducing waiting times at the polls. We asked for the tiniest little bit of progress on any one of those items, some of which involve zero cost and minimal effort. And we asked for it to begin not at next Tuesday's election, but in 2025. And when asked about all of those things, the election commissioner said that he would take no action until he receives a direct order from the Secretary of State. Unlike 101 Kansas counties, Wyandotte County does not get to select its own election administrator. Instead, the commissioner is appointed, supervised by, and only accountable to the Secretary of State. Now, we know that the Secretary of State cares about people like you, cares about hearing from local leaders, wants to prioritize things that matter to you, and that is why we are here tonight, to ask you to express your support for these items to the Secretary of State, to side with inclusion, access to the ballot, democracy. Now, this is such a reasonable and common sense step that a lot of places have already done it. In Kansas, there are 6 counties that are required by a federal law, Section 203 of the Voting Rights Act, to make every word, every punctuation mark, every pregnant pause in their election materials available in Spanish. Wyandotte County is not one of those places because of quirks in the formula that covers these things. But there are also 8 other Kansas counties that are not covered by the formula, that are not required to do it, and have voluntarily expanded language access. Those 8 counties have done it in different ways with a negligible to non-existent budgetary impact. And beyond Kansas, places in Florida, Colorado, Texas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere, red states, blue states, big states, small states, urban, rural, all of them have voluntarily expanded language access. And what has been the result? People feel included, civic health improves, voter turnout rises, democracy is stronger. One thing that has not resulted from all of this is negative consequences. Now, some have asserted that expanding language access might provoke litigation. But it is important to say that there is zero evidence for that claim. In fact, there is a smorgasbord of evidence to the contrary. In the 49 years of language-related voting litigation, there has not been one single lawsuit, not one sad, solitary case where a jurisdiction was sued because of language access that was expanded voluntarily. That absence is not happenstance. It is because it is firmly established that jurisdictions can expand access voluntarily, and doing so brings immeasurable benefits. I would submit to you, members of the commission, that communities are strongest and most united, most prepared to deal with the challenges that the world presents when all voices can be heard. And that's what this discussion is about. I urge you to support the resolution as a way of affirming that it matters to you whether voters feel welcome, supported, equipped, and on equal footing at the polls. That it matters to you whether voting rights are sacred in this place. And since election policy here is set by the Secretary of State's appointee, that it matters to you whether those responsible parties can find it in their hearts to act to expand language access. For that reason, I urge you to support this resolution so that Wyandotte County can, should, and must have the strongest democracy possible. I thank the mayor again for submitting this evening, and to all of you for indulging the discussion.
I'm going to entertain a question from Commissioner Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you, Mr. Kubik, for your presentation. I 100% wholeheartedly believe everything that you said. You know, Wyandotte County, it's been said, is the second most diverse county in the country. So it's important that we provide this language access to anybody and everybody who lives within the bounds of our city and our community. You know, as I'm not the only Latino on this board, but I'm the youngest. And so I believe it is my responsibility to fight for my community, to advocate for my community, and that is what I'm doing tonight. And I 100% support this. And Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bynum.
Thank you, Mayor. As a point of correct order, should I second the motion before my comments? I'll second the motion. And I just would like to add that I did stand with the mayor at the press conference that was held, sponsored by the ACLU a couple of weeks ago. And what I said then, I'll say now, I know a number of people in our community who have gone through the process of attaining their citizenship. It is not easy and it is not fast. And one lady I know spent a full decade achieving citizenship as a US citizen. And my position is that we are better when more of us participate. It makes our community stronger. And I really want our naturalized citizens to feel as comfortable voting as any American-born citizen. And it's one of the most important things you can do as a United States citizen. And it's important that we make it as available as we possibly can. And that is why I stood in support that day and I stand in support today. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Davis.
Thank you. I've had the privilege of talking, of course, with folks from the ACLU as well as our election commissioner. And I'm so glad, Micah, that you expressed that this is merely an expression of our values. Because one of my worries and concerns was, are we making a budget decision tonight by funding these operations? And if so, I would have some hesitation just because our citizens have been very, very adamant that we be very careful and very precise about how we spend budgetary dollars. The Election Commission's office is a county function. And I think if we want to sweeten the pot, both for the state and for the election commissioner, we will have to look at funding to make sure that this isn't some empty promise, but it's something that we can count on, which is a big focus of mine. And so I hope that we see you all in June, in July, in August, in September, because that's when the budget is adopted. And that's where we really, really need your voices if we want to, again, sweeten the pot. We cannot force the election commissioner to make that decision. We cannot force the Secretary of State to make that decision. But again, for us to think that it would happen and there wouldn't be a cost to it, I just don't necessarily see that as possible. But I do support this, and thank you so much for the transparency that was provided. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lopez.
Yeah, this, with our diversity from people from all over, this is what makes America great right here. And I am in support of this too. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Before I entertain those motions with a roll call, I just want to say that we are one of the most diverse communities anywhere you'd find in this nation. At the top of that diversity is the Latino population, which is projected to be at some point the dominant majority here in Wyandotte County, if the numbers keep going the way they are. But anyone that really exemplifies diversity and what makes Wyandotte County such a great place to live, to work, to raise a family, to start a business, this is what it's all about. We gave out Dot Proud awards, but to truly be Dot Proud, we need to make sure that everybody that has an opportunity to vote is given the appropriate tools to be able to make an informed decision when they vote. And so I stood that day with the ACLU and other folks that came out to support this initiative. I'm here today, and I encourage my fellow colleagues here to pass this initiative. It is something of value. It is something that's needed. It is something that's necessary, and we owe it if we're really true about exemplifying what it means to be one of the most diverse communities, to make sure that everybody that is here knows that we support the diversity that makes Wyandotte County such a great place. I'll leave with this before the vote. Lyndon Johnson said, "The vote is the most powerful instrument ever devised by man for breaking down injustice and destroying the terrible walls which imprison men because they are different from other men." Clerk, roll call.
Roll call, Burrows.
Aye.
Townsend.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Kane. Lopez.
Aye.
Stites. Davis.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Due to the weather, I announced it earlier, we did get through items number 1 and 2. I apologize for those that came. Our next full commission meeting, I believe, will be on November 7th. If I'm correct, is that correct, clerk? We will pick up the normal business that was not completed tonight at that time on November 7th. But we do, and it is the shared consensus of this commission that we do create an opportunity for everybody to get home safely. Your safety is our top priority. So I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Still move.
I'm
Dave, second.
sorry,
Second.
I'm sorry. I need a motion not only to adjourn, but a motion to continue the unfinished business to November 7th.
Motion to adjourn and continue business till November 7th.
Second.
Dave, so moved.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Clerk, roll call.
Roll call, Burrows.
Aye.
Townsend. Aye. Burns.
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
Stites.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. Have a good evening and a safe evening.